Under the vast blue sky, in a vibrant meadow full of wild flowers and towering blades of grass, there lived a tiny ant named Aiden. Among his colony, Aiden was known for his restless thoughts. He often questioned whether his small efforts truly mattered. Every day, Aiden watched the worker ants carrying food, building tunnels, and expanding the anthill. They worked tirelessly, but to him it seemed like an endless, impossible task. "Why do we bother?" he would whisper to himself. "No matter how hard we work, there's always more to do. And I'm just one ant. How much difference can I really make?" One afternoon, the colony faced an urgent task. A powerful storm had knocked over a berry bush, scattering its fruit across the field. The ants needed to gather the fallen berries before other creatures claimed them. As the ants hurried out, Aiden was given his share of work, carrying a single berry seed back to the colony. He sighed as he rolled the tiny seed between his legs. Compared to the massive berries the larger ants were carrying, his seed seemed insignificant. "This is pointless," Aiden muttered. Just then, an elder ant named Oliver approached. He had lived through many seasons and had seen countless young ants struggle with doubt. He stopped beside Aiden and asked, "What troubles you, young one?" Aiden lowered his head. "I don't see the point. Everyone else is carrying big berries, and I have this. It's too small to matter. No matter how much we work, there's always more to do. It feels like we're going nowhere." Oliver smiled. "Come with me," he said. Curious, Aiden followed Oliver through the winding trails of the meadow until they reached a towering oak tree. Its thick branches stretched toward the sky, and its roots burrowed deep into the earth. The tree stood tall, mighty, and unshaken by the winds. Oliver turned to Aiden and asked, "Do you know how this tree began?" Aiden tilted his head. "No. How?" "With a single tiny seed, just like the one you're carrying," Oliver said. Aiden blinked. "But it's just a seed." Oliver nodded. "Yes. But when planted, watered, and given time, it grows into something strong and unshakable. Every great thing starts small. The key is not to focus on how far you have to go, but to take one step at a time." Aiden looked down at the seed he had been carrying. He had thought it was useless, but maybe, just maybe, it was the start of something bigger. As they returned to the colony, Aiden faced his biggest challenge yet, the steep hill leading to the anthill's entrance. His tiny legs trembled as he stared at the climb. The path was rough, filled with uneven pebbles and shifting sand. His doubts crept in again. "It's too hard. I'll never make it," he whispered. Oliver patted him on the back. "Don't think about the whole hill. Just take one step, then another." Taking a deep breath, Aiden pushed forward. Step by step, inch by inch, he climbed. His legs burned, and the weight of the seed felt heavier with each move, but he didn't stop. Higher and higher he went, until finally, after what felt like an eternity, he reached the top. Panting, he looked back. He had done it. The climb that once seemed impossible was now behind him, and all it took was one step at a time. For the first time, Aiden understood. Success wasn't about giant leaps. It wasn't about doing everything at once. It was about consistent effort, no matter how small. From that day on, Aiden embraced the power of small steps. He no longer hesitated or doubted his role. Each day he carried one more seed, climbed one more step, and did just a little more than yesterday. Seasons passed, and Aiden grew stronger. He became one of the most dependable ants in the colony, not because he was the biggest or the fastest, but because he never stopped moving forward. And one day, as he stood before a group of young ants who were struggling with their own doubts, he told them the same thing Oliver had once told him. Every great thing starts small. Just take one step, then another.